We are back, and what an opening week of high school baseball here in South Florida. Uh, the Curtain Call podcast is back. We'll be providing analysis from all the games that we saw. The first week was really intense. We're going to break it down. Man on second here went to 7 games in 5 days. That's how much we are locked in here to provide the best coverage, not just in South Florida, but the best content for any platform in this genre, in this space, as they like to say. And so we're going to kind of dive into it. Like I said, 7 games in 5 days, Broward County based, but I cover, the Miami-Dade teams as well, but pretty much when they come here. But I'll make an occasional trip to Monsignor Pace and some other places potentially. But before we dive in, please like and subscribe the Man on Second channel overall. The game highlights already out there, plenty of them. The shorts, we're off to an amazing month already. We're going to just shatter views that we did a year ago. We're just going to dominate the field. But the Curtain Call podcast, this is where I'm going to offer analysis, some insights, some rehashing what we just saw in the first week. And let's start off with my biggest takeaway. It's basically I'm seeing a lot of these teams, especially the good teams, are right now using that first week, this first 6, 7, 3, 4, 5 games, whatever, to kind of feel out their rosters. These seasons, could be 25 or so games in the regular season, if teams can schedule that many. So they're kind of using this to see who can play. So it's providing a lot of opportunity to players. I noticed some of our good teams here are doing that. They're kind of saying, okay, there's some positions up for grabs. We'll let some games go. So the lineups you see on opening day or some of the pitching matchups may not be the ones down the stretch. So advice to these players: show some patience, and when opportunity comes, now's the time to deliver. As pitching gets built up as well. We have here in Broward County, we had 3 state champions, defending state champions. They're back in action. And what we've seen in the first week is on any given day, even the best teams can lose. We saw American Heritage lose its season opener at Doral Academy. No shame there, because even though Heritage was the 4A champs, Doral Academy remains one of the top 6A teams, certainly one of the Miami-Dade's best teams. We saw defending state 6A champs, St. Thomas Aquinas, go 1-2, and we saw 5 straight year champion Stoneman Douglas in 7A. They went 3-0, but they were really pushed in their first 2 games. But we will kind of break that down. We're going to start off with those 3. I opened up the season going to see Stoneman Douglas play at Monsignor Pace, and that was a thriller. That game ended up being 3-2 in favor of the Eagles, but they really had a struggle. And Monsignor Pace is a good team, make no mistake. They're doing a really good job. Coach Lyman's doing a great job. Their team, you could just see their confidence. The more they stuck around in that game, that they almost pulled off the upset. They actually had 2 guys on in the 7th inning in their last at bat with 2 outs and a line drive out to right field, ended the game, giving Douglas a 3-2 win. Standout in that game, Lorenzo Laurel, Florida commit, he homered, and Jackson Taylor. He's now at Stoneman Douglas. He's a junior, and NC State, I believe, commit. He also homered. Let me see. I got some footage here. Let me try to call up Lorenzo's home run. Let's see if this works, my friends. Yeah, here we go. Let's get that video. Don't buffer on me. We'll let it do its thing. Sometimes the connection isn't as great, but trust me here, Lorenzo got a hold of one. Can't make a mistake to this kid, and he knocked the ball over the left field wall. Of course, it doesn't want to work right now, so we will give this one a breather and maybe reconnect in a minute. Hopefully that will go there. as we work out the technical difficulties. Sometimes the connection doesn't go as well. But like I said, Lorenzo had a great game, hit that home run. Really a standout in that game, too, to me, was Jake Rizzo, the senior third baseman, Dayton commit. He had two really good hits, really good at-bats. He had a good first week for the Eagles. And Jake, expect big year for him as well. Let's try one more time. Hopefully this will come on up. Work for me. Come on. Don't you love the technical difficulties on the first of the year? So that we will get that one out of there for now. But it was a good still photo for you all to see. They followed that ad, Stoneman Douglas. They played Miami Killian the next night. Gio Rojas, obviously the great Gio Rojas, projects as a potential top 5 overall draft pick. He struck out, I think Joe struck out 9 in 4 innings, or 8 in 4 innings, gave up 1 unearned run. Douglas got pushed in that game. They're actually losing 1-0 in their final at bat, scored 2 runs to walk it off and won 2-1. Miami Killian, don't sleep on them. They are a really good team. I kind of told the coaches there I really like Miami Killian, and they gave Douglas all they could handle. And then Douglas in their third game had a little bit easier time against Palmer Trinity, won 10-1, got homers in that game from A.J. Ruiz, grand slam from Angel Rodriguez as well, 10-1. So they got a little breathing room. So the key takeaways for the week was as Stoneman Douglas tries to, they have such high expectations. Again, state record 5 straight state titles, a lot of new players. So they're kind of melding as a team right now. They look beatable, to be honest, in the first 2 games especially. Were definitely pushed. But signs of good teams are, even when pushed, finding a way to win. You can't understate that. So I expect Douglas to kind of maybe early in the year struggle a little bit, have those games like we just saw. But they have the type of talent. If they pick it up, they could really, really get it going. Let's also give a hat tip to Reed Daddick, their pitcher on open day. I thought Reed did a nice job against Pace. And also Kate Rowley, their leadoff hitter, second baseman. He's really good approach, good table setter, always seems to be on base. He makes things happen for them. So again, as Douglas tries to get their footing, there may be some growing pains along the way, but certainly they're a type of team that certainly is capable of making another run at getting back to Fort Myers. And again, it's a team that's early on in the year looking to find their identity, but they should be just fine. Let's switch over to American Heritage. Went 2-1 in the week. Heritage, like I said, lost 2-1 at Doral Academy in their opener. In that game, they started Brady Snow, one of the top pitchers in the state. Brady did pretty well in that game, but Doral, they got home runs from Javian Francois and Luis Prado. I think Prado's a freshman. He hit a home run in that game, and that was the difference, 2-1. So Heritage, then they kind of regrouped. They came home. They beat Archbishop McCarthy 7-2 in a game that was close up until about the 4th inning, and then Heritage, I think they were down 1-0 at one point, tied at 1-1. Then he scored like 4 runs to make it 5, and added 2 add-on runs before getting up a run in the 7th inning and to make it 7-2. Mark Asensio, infielder, doing really good. He's off to a really high start. He had 3 hits in that game. I also thought in that game, Gavin Ruvalcaba and Bladen Caballero, 2 left-handed hitters. Bladen's the shortstop. Vanderbilt commit, 2027 class, just as Gavin is. Gavin's a Duke commit. 2 really, really good-looking players. Really bright future there. Also, a hat tip, I thought Giancarlo Gandoria, outfielder, and Isaiah Cuba both have played really well this week. They're getting their opportunity this year. They're making the most of it. And then on Friday night, the next day after playing McCarthy, Heritage was back at it, and they in a big 4A District 15 matchup against Somerset Academy. And Somerset Academy has John Mora, the Miami commit, who's like an outfield commit, left-handed, but he's playing second base, and Man, I think his college future could also be second base. So certainly that middle of the field type of profile. I'm not sure he fits the shortstop profile, but with the bat, he kind of gives me a Corbin Carroll vibe with his hitting approach and high compliment. I think John Mora is going to be a really, really good player. Mora had a 2-run double in that game, but at the end, Heritage came back from 3 runs down, won that game 4-3. Big game for the Heritage to take that, especially when we get to the end of the year and they look for district and regional play, who would have home field, and head-to-head is a tiebreaker. Mason McGeehan got the start for Heritage, left-hander, uncommitted, but we're going to get him committed soon. Mason's really talented. He had a rough inning. I think it was the second inning, but really rebound. Gave 4 innings, really a bulldog. Mason's thrown really well. He kind of got better as that game went on, which is very encouraging. Struck out 6. And then Enrique Kike Santos came in and pitched unbelievably. Great, lively arm. I think 92 miles an hour, slider that's unhittable, especially to right-handers. And he picked up, I think he only gave up 1 base runner in 3 innings of work, and he retired John Moore twice, including the game on a ground ball to second base. So Santos, really promising pitcher there for Heritage. I'm going to give a hat tip also for Somerset starter Kareem Amer. I thought he pitched really well. He pitched 4 innings. I thought he did a really fine job. Kind of ran out of gas in an inning that kind of went away from him. But overall, Somerset Academy, really talented club. And then our third, like I said, defending state title team from here in Broward, St. Thomas Aquinas. They went 1-2 on the week. Not exactly the start that they were looking for, but really no shame in any of it, because they started the year off at Newman High School in Naples. They're traditionally one of the better teams in the state. They lost 6-5, so highly competitive game there. Then they came home and they beat, I think they're at home. Maybe I'm not. Maybe it was at Killian. Beat Miami Killian 9-6. And then on Friday at home, lost to Jupiter, a team that was in the 7A championship game last year. Lost a close one to Stoneman Douglas. So, again, they're playing close games. Hat tip to Hayden Robinson. I like this kid. Swing, left-handed bat. He hit a homer. He had 4 RBIs. And Hunter Mercer hit 333 in the first week. So, question I have with St. Thomas is, how's that pitching going to come along? Again, this is another team. They lost a lot of seniors from a state championship team. They're playing with a target on their back this year as the defending state champs. So teams are going to be looking to do damage against St. Thomas. They're going to get everybody's A game. They're going to see great pitching. But I'm very curious to see how they do. So those were kind of the 3 teams there that the ranked teams, or excuse me, the defending state championship teams here in Broward that did well. Let me talk about some individuals, because I think we got some kids here that the pro scouts are all over. They're seeing more and more scouts at these games. Even 2 years ago, everyone said this class of 26 was going to be a great class with players that are potentially draftable. We could start off with Gio Rojas. He obviously is a Miami commit, but it's all indications are he will be a top 10 pick, maybe top 3, top 5, that type of guy. We're going to monitor Gio all year. The only question is usage. I mean, he throws 97, 98, left-hander, which is nasty, nasty stuff. Obviously, the Eagles and Stoneman Douglas will carefully monitor his workload, making sure he's fine where he needs to be. But he's a champion, and he'll obviously want to go out as a champion. So we will see what Gio does. He heads our list here in Broward. Then one of the games I saw early last week, Chaminade Madonna. My buddy there, Spencer Krasner, now a senior. I remember seeing Spencer as a freshman when he was at American Heritage. Spencer's just had an amazing career. South Carolina commit, but getting a lot of attention for a potential, first 5 rounds type of draft pick. A lot of scouts saw him. 5 innings, 9 Ks, no walks in his first game. So again, Spencer, he's a strike thrower. He's a proven winner. He's been on the state championship team. He's been to state twice. He was a winner in the state semifinals his sophomore year at Heritage as well. And again, every time he hits the mound, it's going to come down to velocity, where he goes. Because he's throwing 89 to 91, maybe touching 92. Not really overly worried about the total velo. He's a left-hander who throws strikes, who's got a really, really good breaking ball, who knows how to pitch. In the 2 starts I've seen him make, I don't think he's given up one hard hit ball. If the hits he gives up are kind of soft contact type hits, doesn't seem to get in a lot of trouble. He's pitching at a really good rhythm and pace. He's almost getting ball and throwing the ball. He's not letting hitters really get settled in, and he just knows how to pitch. He knows how to get guys out. He's battle tested, and I expect Spence to really have a really standout senior year. I touched on Brady Snow at Heritage. 96 fastball, sliders unhittable as well. Here's the guy. He has so much upside. Would be really fun to watch. Brady, he's another guy. University of Florida commit, but will he end up going there? Will he be drafted? Those are really kind of 3. Oh, one more. My bad. One more. Ivan Sabater at West Broward. He is drawing a ton of area scouts, draft attention. The pros are visiting him. 9 strikeouts in 4 innings in his first game. Look great. Slider, the best I've ever seen it. Fastball just has so much movement and life. Up to 94, 95. I think he's touched 96. But this is a kid that's really, really putting himself in a position to be drafted. Every time he's out there, Ivan's going to kind of be much see for these scouts. A couple of position players. AJ Cruz, shortstop at West Broward. I saw him hit 2 home runs against Columbus, and really athletic, really twitchy, really toolsy. Big week. He hit a homer also against Pines Charter in the season opener. West Broward also has catcher Manuel Sarcos, outfielder, center fielder Ethan Lindor. Lindor homered also against Columbus. Really high on him. Let's go back to Heritage again. I talked about Caballero and Ruvalcaba, two juniors, left-handed hitters. These guys can be attracting pro scouts left and right. They can freaking hit. They can field their position. They just look like players. Their approaches are beyond reproach. They're really, really good. Let's talk about West Broward a little bit, because they're a team that's looking to knock off Stoneman Douglas in 7A. They're there, but I saw them play against Columbus out of Miami. Lost that game. I think it was 9-5. And those 2 teams are really solid. And then you got obviously Douglas, and the road to Fort Myers probably will go through Douglas, but you got 3 teams there that are pretty equal. And on any given day, and all of them can throw an ace. Obviously, Gio Rojas stands above many, but Ivan Sabater can definitely hold his own in a 1-game matchup. You never know how it's going to play out. So, again, I'm looking for big things from West Broward. Reggie Rodriguez looking really good, from the left-handed hitting first baseman. So they're just a loaded team. West Broward, they're built to win. So we'll see how they do. They won that week. I do want to talk about Columbus, because it's a school I don't see that often, but really enjoy watching them. And like I said, when they played against West Broward, that is a really improved team from a year ago. Not they were too shabby last year, but they're athletic, they're physical. They got D1 players all over the place, guys that are penciled again in to go to Miami, Texas, Stetson. They got some serious players. They can beat anybody without question. Alex Cruz is their center field. That kid runs like the wind. He's a really talented guy, leadoff type guy, hitter. Robbie, I want to say your name right. Oyarzun, Oyarzun, hit 625 in the week. He had a couple of RBIs, I believe, in that game against West Broward. Juan Jacome hit 455. Ricky Hernandez, who ended up pitching, he's like first base DH pitcher. I believe Ricky's going to Stetson, 375 he hit. And Matthew Vigil, 92, 93 mile an hour fastball. Miami recruits. So, they can match up. They got pitching. They got athleticism. They're a type of team now speed the game up. They will test your catchers. They will run. They will sacrifice. They will bunt. They had a number of 2-out rallies. They work counts. That's a dangerous team. Good job at Columbus. We're going to definitely follow the Explorers because I think they are a team capable of getting to Fort Myers without a doubt. Let's go back to Broward County. Flanagan, got to give them their props. Flanagan, the Falcons, off to a 3-0 start. Noel Figueroa's team, I knew they're going to be scrappy. Their infield plays defense. They're well coached. They play fundamentally sound. Always the key to me with Flanagan is find a way to win late because they've kind of the last few years, they'll play you close and then they'll make a mistake or a 2-out error or a big walk or something. They end up losing a close one late. But right now, finding ways to win. Their biggest win of the week, they scored 5 runs in the 7th inning to beat Western. Western's another team that has the capability of being pretty scrappy. They're in 7A. Flanagan's in 6A. They have to go through St. Thomas. They're there. Western's got to go through West Broward, Stoneman Douglas. They got to go through that. The Western's got Stoneman Douglas there in the same district, but they're going to have to eventually, if they win, would go through West Broward and then Columbus as well. But hat tip to my boy Alec Hernandez, the pitcher at Western. 6 innings, no earned runs, 8 strikeouts. Good job, Alec. Throwing well. He's with low 90s fastball. Then some of the hitters to give some recognition to the Nodell twins, Eric and Edwin. Edwin's the catcher. Eric is first base. Eric had 2 hits. And Edwin had 2 RBIs in that win over Western. And my boy, Caden Corzo, the shortstop at Flanagan, 6 hits in the week. Luis Gonzalez, Luify, they call him. He scored 5 runs. That kid's a scrappy little player. I really like watching him play. And that's kind of going to wrap up kind of my, recap of stuff. Just like I said, my advice as we kind of push this season going to these young players and all players. Everyone wants to do well. Everyone wants to get off to a hot start, but relax. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. You got to make things happen. And let me see. I'm going to try to get this home run by AJ Cruz up here before we go. Come on, don't fault me now. Come on, do this. Oh, that's the beginning. Let's get it from the beginning. Let's see. Let him go through. Yeah, this is AJ Cruz. Watch this home run he hits off of Columbus. Come on, don't buffer on me. Boom. He did not miss that. And he got his money's worth on the bat flip right there. That's a classic right there. Umpire wasn't really happy about it. He ended up tossing him. That's a story for another day. But I will say this. The whole bat flip thing in general, umpires, come on, you don't have a quick trigger. You got 2 really good teams playing. These are state ranked type teams playing. We don't need to be tossing players. Didn't have to go that because that definitely did impact how that West Broward Columbus game is. And I'm saying that for all teams, but then players themselves, not everybody's crazy about it. They don't, some of these umpires, they're not crazy about some of these teams. They're not crazy about it. It's the mix. I'll give my one little soapbox because this is, someone who's covered the big leagues for over 20 years, still card carrying BBWA member and a Hall of Fame voter for the National Baseball Hall of Fame. We can't have a let the kids play mantra marketing campaign coming out of Major League Baseball where they want the excitement, they want to connect with the younger kids, and they're all about bat flips and stuff at the big league level, and then punish a high school kid for showing emotion. And that was his 2nd home run he hit that day for AJ, but I didn't really want to make this one of those type of pontification. I do want to, though, like I said, talk about these players. You guys don't put extra pressure on yourself. Just play the game. You guys are all we play really high level baseball here in South Florida. You're all on teams. You're all in lineups because you've earned your right to be there. Don't make it any tougher on yourself by putting pressure on yourselves. It's a long season. It's 30-something games. So you don't need to be feeling that oh, I need to get a hit every time up, or I'm going to hit 400 this year and I'm 0 for 3 in game one. So that means I got to go 4 for 3 in game two and just try doing stuff and chasing it and having a rough year. Just let your ability rise, let it happen. Keep in mind, our really good teams, and we have many really good teams, you're all playing teams with pitchers who throw 90 or above. So there's some really good pitching going on, which is preparing our kids for the next level. And that's what Man on Second does, is we prepare these, players, give the exposure for the colleges to see these videos, the pros to see these videos. They give all these good players that have making Man on Second the channel and the media company that it's growing into. Also picking up, posting on my TikTok account. Same thing with my Twitter account or X account. Not so much on Instagram. Don't go look at me up there because I'm not really there too much. I can't be everywhere. YouTube's where I want to be. So please likes and subscribe. Obviously, they got something new now on these videos, these podcasts. Something you'll see it in the little tab line. It's called Hype. That adds a lot more exposure. So please hype all the videos, especially the game recaps. If you hit that hype button, obviously I want everyone to like, subscribe, do all those fun things. But please, the more recognition, the more we can grow this channel. So we're gonna bring these back and let things play out. Going to be back in action, seeing as many games as possible again this week. But with that, again, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. And we will check everybody out in the next video.